Y'all, technology is killing me. Okay. So we're still reading from In the Sanctuary of Women, and we are on the third part of it. We're going to open with her prayer for the morning. It says, "Blessed are you, O God, who created the world with a word, who fashioned your people from dust and from the light. In our waking, may we know you, breathing in us, breathing through us, creating us anew with your longing and love." And this third part, so the last part we talked about looking closer at who we are and who we were created to be versus what the world says we are, who the world says we are, and what the world says about our bodies and what we can say about our bodies based on our Creator and how He created us. So this third part is called Taking the Fruit. A few years ago, in the city of Orlando, sponsored a juried art show with the theme Still Life. I hadn't done a still life since childhood, but the theme set my imagination in motion. I began thinking about fruit and Eden and Eve, and how about a still life that wasn't still? I found a rough ceramic bowl and painted a snake around the inside lip. Inside the bowl, I placed a group of apples, artificial, that I had cut in half, connected with hinges. The apples became books when opened. Each one contained a text, a brief reflection on Eve and the garden. Taking the fruit, I called it the Library of Eden. The first apple. Each desire in my life leads to another desire that lives behind it or beneath it or within it. In the midst of paying attention to them all, I sometimes wonder if I'm addicted to longing. The second apple. The Sufi poet Rumi says that our longing is the answer to our longing, that our capacity for desire is a reply to our desire. Some days I find this comforting, but on other days it doesn't give much satisfaction. The third apple. Desire finds its way into a lot of my writings, so I've had to stock up on synonyms. Longing, yearning, and hunger are useful, and hankering is fun. Ache comes in handy if it's a hard desire, and some of mine are. The fifth apple. Maybe Eve left Eden with a seed tucked under her tongue and rolled it around in her mouth in her memory when she was in danger of forgetting the wisdom she had nearly left untaken. The fifth apple. Every now and again, I try to remember to stop and ask, are there any lines I should be crossing? The sixth apple. Cooper Edens writes, longing far more than it haunts you reminds you of your true name. What is yours? The blessing for our practice today is desire and longing and yearning, hungering, hankering, and ache. May you know the presence of the God who makes a home in each of these. So we're going to get started. Today we're going to get started lying down. And if you have a journal, you can have your journal by you. If you have a blanket by you. The number one rule about this is that there are no rules. However, I ask you to move your body. It's just a suggestion. You can choose to do it or to not. You can move your body in the same way or in a completely different way. It's up to you. You are in control here. You have all the power over your body. We're just connecting to it. The only requirement here is that you keep breathing. So we're going to start with 3 big, deep breaths into your nose and out through the nose if that feels good, or out through the mouth if that feels more calming to you. Excuse me. Good. And if you want to take a couple of body rolls, get used to what it feels like to feel inside your body. Good. Some big shoulder rolls. So taking your shoulders forward and up and back and forward and up and back. How do your shoulders feel? Where is that sensation? Do you have a tight neck? You can reverse it if you want. So go back and then up and forward. Are you giving any tension in your neck? Any tension in your shoulders? How does it feel to move them? Good. Go ahead and lay down on your mat. Good. I'm going to mute myself. Sorry, y'all. I had a crazy allergy. Okay, go ahead and lay down on your mat. Take yourself all the way down if that feels comfortable, if you feel safe doing that. If you don't feel safe doing that, you might want to take a blanket to cover yourself up or to cover up any parts of you that might feel a little bit vulnerable today. And we're just going to lie down. We're going to bring our sensations, our senses, and our feelings toward the places of our bodies that are touching the ground. What does it feel like? The difference on your body between what touches the ground and what just feels the breeze of the air. Can you connect the top parts of your body to the bottom parts that are grounded? Can you feel yourself being enveloped in love, in spirit, in God? You invite God to be near if that's comfortable for you. If God is uncomfortable for you, you could invite His love to be near. Good. If you want, you can pull your knees into your chest here and let yourself rock back and forth. How does it feel like to have the ground move across your back? Or your back move across the ground, rather? What is the sensation here? Down on your sacrum, all the way up your spine to your shoulder blade. Big breath into the nose, filling up the belly. Good. And when you're ready, you can lift the legs, rock forward, coming up to a seated position on your mat. Now that we have grounded ourselves, now that we know that the ground is there and what it feels like, what does it feel like to open our hearts and to go ahead and come to all fours on the mat? Draw the shoulder blades back, lift the chin, and open the heart if you want. If that feels scary, you don't have to. But if you choose to do it, notice what that feels like to have your heart wide open here. If you round the shoulders and pull the belly into the spine and tuck your chin into the chest, what does that feel like to have the heart protected here? If we open ourselves up to our longings and our heart desires, and what happens if we protect here? Just keep moving at your own pace. What does it feel like to protect and to open? We're going to tuck our toes under and come to a downward facing dog here. If you would like to join me, you can. Melting the heart back toward the thighs. Opening through the shoulder blades. Pressing through all of the fingertips. Bringing the weight to the heels of the hips. What does it feel like to melt your heart back towards your thighs here? Feel free to bend your knees, to move into your shoulders, whatever feels good. Good. Come up, down to your knees. Good. And here we're going to melt our heart toward the mat. So the hips stay over the knees. The heart melts down to the mat. Puppy pose is what that is called. Let's grab another tissue. I apologize. I just kind of started when I started the video. Go figure, right? Good. Puppy pose, melting the heart toward the mat. What does that feel like? How does the heart space feel here? Good. Go ahead and walk hands back up. I invite you to sit back on your feet. So there are two options here. You can bend your toes and sit back on your heels and really get a nice big stretch in your feet. If that feels uncomfortable for you, you can go ahead and leave the tops of your feet on the mat. That's fine. If you're looking for more of a stretch here, you can bring your feet apart and set your hips down in the middle of the heels, as long as that doesn't hurt your knees. That's a nice stretch too. Good. And from here, just going to take your hands up and reach up out of the ribcage. Good. And we're going to bring our hands behind us, fingertips pointing away from us. We're just going to draw the shoulder blades back and open our hearts here. Again, option to participate or to not. If having your heart wide open feels vulnerable, you can try this pose, but you can bring a blanket to your heart space. Good. Walk your hands forward. If you've got your hips between your heels, you can go ahead and come back up onto your heels or on the toes and reach forward, bunny pose. After having our hearts open, nice to ground in this way. Good. We're going to go ahead and bring ourselves all the way to the belly here. We're going to rest the forehead on the mat. And with your forehead on the mat, I'm going to invite you to take some big, deep breaths. This time the front part of your body rests on the ground. You can feel the air on the top parts of your body. I'm coming up to a Sphinx pose just so you can hear me, but you're welcome to keep your forehead on the mat. As you lay there, feeling the ground on the different parts of your body this time, I invite you to bring your thoughts to the word longing, to desire, to passion. If you are like me and you have been dissociated from your body for long enough, those words seem foreign almost. If you're not connected to your body, it's impossible to be connected to your purpose, to your passion, to the longing and the desire that God puts in your heart. So as we move through our practice today, working on allowing our hearts to be open, feeling what that feels like to have an open heart, I'm inviting you also to open yourself up to your desires, to your dreams, to your passions, and to your purpose. And how you can find God in all of those things. And again, if God is uncomfortable, you could find love in all of those things. Okay. Deep breath. Connecting to your purpose. Connecting to yourself. Good. Draw the shoulder blades back. Good. From here, I'm going to invite you to draw your shoulder blades together and to lift that heart space up off of the mat. Lift your face. Open your heart. Option to zip up the legs as well. You can also interlace the fingers. Draw yourself even further up. Good. Feel that sensation in your back, and then you can lower yourself back down. If that felt good and you want a little bit more, you can bend that feet, bend the knees, take the feet in the hands, kick into the hands, and open up a little bit more. It's up to you. First thing in the morning, this is not an impressive pose for me. Good. Keep breathing. Heart space is open. Shining forward. What does that feel like? Good. And lower yourself back down. forehead to the mat. Good. You have the option to stay here, keeping your forehead on the mat, continuing to work through what it is you feel inside your heart and inside your wisdom, your knowing about who you are and how you were created. If you want to, you can go ahead and come back up to a nice seated position. Good. While we're seated here, and root down through my sits bones and reach for the sky. Come up out of my ribs, out of my hips, exploring space in my torso here. I'm just going to take a little twist. I'm going to take my right hand to the left knee, my left hand behind me, fingers facing out. The twist starts here with the belly, followed by the chest, finally the shoulders, and the gaze over that back shoulder. Nice, deep twist. Good, and cutting back the other way. Again, belly, chest, shoulders, gaze. Nice, deep twist. Twists are great. Take some deep breaths here. Because it's an opportunity to massage your vagus nerve, which runs all the way from your brain down to your belly. One of its main jobs is to transmit emotion, how you're feeling. So if you're nervous, you get butterflies in your tummy. That's your vagus nerve. It's important that we keep it working well so that your body and brain continue to talk to one another. So I invite you to take a few deep breaths here, big, deep ones that fill up your entire torso. Imagine the breath massages all the organs in your body. Imagine that connection between your brain, your heart, and your belly is getting stronger, more powerful every time you come to one of these classes. I challenge you today, sisters, to open yourself up to what your heart is feeling, to your longing or your desire, to write it down, to see what it feels like inside of you. And maybe share it with a friend. Thank you so much for joining me today. It was a pleasure to move my body with you this morning. Going to end us with a blessing from the book. Again, you can stay on your mat as long as feels good. If you have any questions or you want to talk about what came up for you today, I'm going to stay on for a couple more minutes until my time is up. And you can message me here. Or I'm going to also post some of these questions on the Facebook page at Beautiful and Beloved on Facebook. And so if you want to come join the conversation over there, you can do that as well. My blessing for you today: desire, longing, and yearning, hungering, hankering, and ache. May you know the presence of the God who makes a home in each of these. Thank you guys so much for joining us. It has been a pleasure moving bodies with you as always. And I'm sticking around if you need me to.